Hello, wonderful, beautiful people, and welcome to day 3. I think we're still kind of finding our ground. We're finding that agility, that flexibility and movement in this massive time of change, and that is completely okay. We are in no rush. Our own journeys take our own time, and we're going to honor that. So today's yoga class, it's still going to be about, agility. It's going to be about kind of grounding. But the new aspect that we're adding on today is openness. This idea that, yes, all of this change may be happening around me and it may seem a bit crazy, but here I am, this pillar. Like I'm staying grounded. If you listen to the meditation, you're a strong trunk, your roots are reaching out, but you've got that flexibility, to adjust and to bend, but you're not breaking. So we're going to bring this level of openness to know that it's okay. It's okay to feel stressed sometimes. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, but knowing and trusting in our grounded and our agility ability. That's a mouthful, wasn't it? So we're going to start again by coming to our mat, our floor, wherever our safe space is. We're going to ground our feet facing forward, knees are facing forward. Just take a few breaths here for a minute. We're really going to anchor ourselves down into the space. We're imagining our feet as these roots and they're spreading across, up and down the mat, across the floor, across wherever you need. And our hands are doing the same. And we start by just expanding and coming in with our fingers. Inhale, we're expanding our fingers, stretching as wide as we can. Exhale, we're bringing them together. We're doing this with our own breath. We're feeling that grounded. We're finding that midway weight balance. We're grounding ourselves. We're starting this strong in our ability. And start by just doing a few little bounces. We're sending this energy. We're keeping our trunk. We're keeping our core strong. We're sending this energy, this positivity down into the ground beneath us that we are rising up from. Allowing the body to relax with every bounce. Bringing in a little shake of the arms as well. So every time we're bending down, our arms are coming with us. We're relaxing in the shoulders and around the back, around the neck. We're releasing any tension that we need. We're going at our own pace, whatever feels good for us. We may have a little twist in the hips or the torso, and we're just loosening up, feeling all areas of the feet on the ground. We're not needing to be perfect. We're not needing to be okay. We trust in our ability to be agile, control ourselves, but we're allowing some flexibility, we're allowing some fun. So shaking it off. Now as we're pumping this intention. Having fun, we're grounded, we're safe, we're secure. Shaking off any worry, knowing that right now we are all we need to be. And this might come into a little bounce at all, just by lifting the heels up, keeping the toes grounded. You want to bring the hands above your head. See how this changes your back at all, if it changes your balance. If your core, if you're bending, making sure we're zipping in. Arms to the side, feet in the window. One up, one down. One up, one down. Forward. It's important to not just straight stop, going back to a bounce with a swing of our arms, moving forwards and backwards. From here we're going to go back into that ragdoll. So we're going to be holding on to our elbows. Inhale coming up, exhale coming down. Inhale coming up, exhale coming down on the bent knees. Inhale coming up, exhale coming down. We straighten, we bend again. Inhale coming up. Exhale coming down. Inhale coming up. Exhale coming down. Do a few more of these at your own pace. Find some enjoyment in the swing. Trust that you're grounded. Work on that agility we were working on last time. And on your next down, you're going to rest. You're not going to come back up. You're going to hold on to your elbows. You're going to shake your head no. You're going to nod your head yes. We'll start with a downward dog today. So we're going to go into a plank position to start. So we want a nice line with the top of our head, so we're not curled, we're not arched, we're flat. Our shoulders and our wrists are in line. And from this position, we're peeling back, lifting the hips up, bringing our heels to the mat, and our ears are in line. So we're not looking up, we're not looking at our feet, we're in line. We're looking at the middle. Sometimes this can be quite hard and your hands may slip. That's okay. You're just going to breathe here for a few moments. If you notice you slip like I do, sometimes I have to go into dolphin, which means you bend at the elbows, you keep that line, and you breathe. We've got no motive, we haven't got any, things that we want to look like when we're doing this pose. This is restorative, it's grounding, it's lifting up as well though. We're sending our hips up to the sky, our head's coming down, we've still got this polar of the top and the bottom, the mind and the body. Breathe in here, finding the support to the ground to lift us up. Coming forward into a plank. Bringing a right leg forward into a lunge. Lifting our body up and turning, so we're coming back into that warrior two position that we started yesterday. So our back leg, this is my right leg, is at 3 o'clock, front leg is at 12, the knee is over the toes, my arms are open. Feeling that open, palms are facing down, or they can face towards 3 o'clock. Keep the length in that back leg, the length coming out the top of the head. Now instead, our new agility, we're going to turn to face the front, bring that back heel behind. We're going to put the weight on this front foot, but we're not lifting up yet. We're just going to drag that foot behind us. And we're going to slowly start tilting into warrior three. It's going to be a very difficult balancing pose. And the reason why we're starting it now is because we're working on it. It's okay if you're wobbling. It's completely okay. If you bend that left leg, point that right toe, you imagine a connection between your toe and your head. This energy is pulling you out, coming flat like a tabletop. Stay fixed on a point, and you're going to come out of it by bending again, coming back into that warrior two. That should be the hardest version that we're going to do for this, because we're going to continue this as a pattern. So you're going to come to warrior two, to warrior three, back to warrior two, straighten for breath, and doing the same again. And this is going to be our flow of agility today. So we're going to start breathing in, breathing out, coming forward, breathing in, coming down, breathing out, straightening up. Doing this in your own time. Knowing the slower you kind of get better control, and then you work the speed up. It's always best to start slower, even if you stay in each pose for 2 breaths. In, out, in, out, in, out. Make it work for you and your body today. In, doing it in your own time, and into that warrior three. It's really important here that you're focusing on where your hips are. You're making that transition. This is the hardest thing, and it is quite a hard thing I'm throwing at you. But we're going to be practicing it every day for the next few days to really get that grounded into us. So do keep going as I am speaking. But here it's so important you twist that back foot before you come forward. Come back to that twist again and straighten. So you're bending. You're twisting as that arm comes round. You're leaning forward. You're bending and you're twisting as that arm comes round again. Finding your own flow for this. Knowing it's okay if this is hard. Making any variations that seem right to you. This could be just leaning forward if you don't want to lift up the leg. I'm going to do one more. And when you're at the end of the flow, meet me at the top of the mat. So bring that foot forward, we wiggle in. Bring knee to the top of the mat. Do the exact same thing, just the other way around. So we're going to start in that warrior 2 position. We're facing 9 o'clock. Going to look a bit strange as my mat has been moving. Find that length, the knee over the toe, straighten the back leg, feel yourself ground. Begin with the flow, so straighten the legs. Exhale, arm swivels, we swivel. Take it slow to start. Ooh. There's different balance on each side of the body. As you can tell, this is a bit of a harder side for me. Now, when you're in this warrior 2 position, bending your knees can actually help with grounding. Thinking what this can mean to us personally. How can we bend our knees in everyday life to help us ground? If we have a wobble, that's completely okay. If we're out of line, it's okay. We're learning to not be so hard on ourselves. Learn that every day is different. Today this could be so easy and tomorrow it could be difficult. It could be the other way around. Every day is a learning curve. We need to be kind to ourselves. We're going to do 2 more flows of these. The most important thing is that you're focusing on keeping that right leg, the knee facing forward. When you're done, meet me at the top of the mat, wiggling those feet inwards again. Feeling grounded in yourself. Go back to our swing. We're going to lift up the bend, out, switching to the other side. Making sure our arms, even though there is speed, we're stopping at shoulder height. Feeling that openness in the chest. We're really thinking about opening up, allowing new things to come. Being okay with not being okay sometimes. Knowing it's okay to ask for support, because we all do at times in our life. Know how we support ourselves with our breath. Imagine we're being like a bird flying. Allow your wings to take space. Don't forget about our fingers. How we open and close them at the beginning. Start doing this now. When we're out with our wings stretched, we stretch our fingers. When we're not, they're coming together. Doing this movement at our own pace, our own breath, and our own time, because this is our own practice. Find the fun, bounce. See how fast or slow you can go, and how controlled you can be at coming up to shoulder height. Making sure those knees stay facing forward. I'm going to do 2 more. Take our hands to prayer position. Feeling our heartbeat, how that's increased a little bit. With an inhale, we're going to lift that chest up to the ceiling again, imagining a rope coming up, connecting us, this beam of light, this rope of energy. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, lifting up. You may want to release your hands from prayer or keep them there. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. We want to release any tension at the back of the neck. And from here, we're now going to try a new version of opening up. So if you take one hand, and you cover the thumb, and you cover over, this is the position that we're going to be doing behind our back. And we're meeting it in the small, so our tailbone is where, if we were an animal, would have a tail. We're putting this where our thumb connection is, on top of the tailbone. We're standing hip width apart, body facing forward. Just watching for now. And inhale, we're lifting up, and then extending that into our lower back, wherever feels comfortable. Exhale, coming up, leading with the head. I'd recommend when you're doing this, start with a gentle back bend, because we're still warming up the spine, we're still opening to this idea of being open. We don't want to go full in, 1 for our body and 2 for our mind. So we're going to do 5 of these. We're going to start with as minimal as we can, starting very close to that high release, that lifting up breath that we did. And we're going to slowly take it down the spine. And even if you're not at your full capacity today, you know you can push more. We're not pushing to the furthest that we can. We're being a beginner. We're opening up this idea in our body and our mind and making sure they're both in the same place. So breath 1, we're just going slightly above that little heart raise that we did. So hands behind and our tailbone, breathing in. Breathing out. Coming back to neutral. We really want to engage our shoulders to pull down, to relax down, to not rise up when we're lifting. And we feel the stretch coming along here as well. Second breath, slightly more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Coming to neutral. You're allowing the head to stay connected to the spine, so you're not ducking to see what's behind you. You're on a journey with your body to see the entire pain, to see every inch of the room, not just what's behind you. Like a cinema reel, you want to see everything. Breath 3. Ready? We're supporting ourselves, so breathing in. Ever so slightly more. Breathing out. If you're closing your eyes, still imagine what you're viewing on that journey. Breath 4, slightly more. Don't push yourself. Go to wherever feels comfortable today, mind and body. Breathing in. Breathing out. It's important we're staying grounded. We're keeping our feet and our hips where we are. Even though we're leaning back, we're not moving backwards with us. We're resisting against it. We're keeping this solid structure. I don't want to say we're leaning forward because then we're falling out of line, but we're keeping that solid structure. And it feels like we're moving forward because we're moving back. We're staying grounded to where we are. Last and final breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bend our knees, lifting our arms up. Exhale, bending the knees, arms coming down. We're going to time this breath so the journey it takes for arms to be above the head is a full inhale. It's a full exhale to come down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Doing this in your own time. Working out what feels right in terms of when to bounce, experimenting, when to straighten. Working towards knowing it's okay if we're not fully there yet. To be in time with our breath. To be fully straight at the same time in our legs, in our arms. And keeping that torso, our trunk nice and straight. It can be very good to work breathing with your arms in different pains. It targets different areas in your lungs. It challenges you as well. Do 2 more. We've we've been quite upright today. So we're going to return back to our mat. Something we did within day 1. We're going to come to our start position to start. Doing our hands and our sit bones if we're wanting to sit on something to really engage ourselves. We're feeling this energy exchange, this pushing down. I'm actively pushing. I'm not, sometimes there can be things that our arms are longer than our legs and our torso. That's completely normal. If you notice that about you and your arms are slightly longer, either have your arms slightly further ahead. They could be in line with your knee or wherever works. Mine are a little, but I can kind of get away with it. Or sitting on a cushion. Everyone's different, everyone's body is different. But we're going to breathe here for a few minutes. With every inhale, taking in that nourishing breath. Every exhale, dispelling what we don't need for the day. Taking in the goodness of all around you. Expelling what you don't need. And stay here for 2 more breaths. You're going to bring your feet in so they can touch the ground. They're slightly bent but not fully tucked. From here you're just going to allow your body to fold forward. If you can, putting your fingers around your toe. If not, resting wherever feels comfortable. And allowing the head to rest between your knees. Here we're working towards our forward fold, but we're relaxing that spine that we were just working on opening. So opening comes 2 ways. There's opening and closing. And it's about finding balance in the mind and the body. Knowing what to be open to and what to close off for our own mental health and well-being. Allow your body to relax. And think about what you want to take from this yoga practice for the day. Here for 2 more breaths. And exhale, roll the spine up so we're sitting upright. And we're doing the spiral again, touching. And coming around, this time our knees are forward. So inhale, we're folding backwards. Exhale, we're coming forwards. Note yesterday, if you were looking at the space, maybe today look at the hands on the journey. And vice versa, if you were looking at your hands on the journey yesterday, make a conscious choice to do the opposite. If you cannot remember, that's okay. Focus on what you want to do today. Whether you want to engage with our hands on a journey, every inhale coming back, and exhale coming forward, keeping the rest of our body grounded, our knees facing forward, with only our upper torso and our arms and our head moving. If you want to look at a fixed point in space, be it the left and right side. Noticing how this affects your body, what you can see in space. I'm going to do 2 more of these on each side. Feeling how this openness can bring us to a neutral. Sometimes we tend to lean forward as a society, our shoulders roll forward. And just by opening up, by moving backwards, we're recorrecting our alignment. And this may feel like the stronger stretch for you, and then moving back, and that is completely okay. Sit with yourself for a few moments before you go on about your day, and thank yourself for doing this yoga practice. Notice how your body feels. You may need to close your eyes to do this. What areas feel open? What areas feel closed? How did you deal with agility and change today? What are you looking forward to tomorrow? What was easy? What was maybe a bit more challenging? How are you finding this yoga practice so far? Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow, and the meditation to go with today will be posted as well.